Welcome to Kentucky for this matchup between FC Cincinnati and Toronto FC2. This matchup is going to be one in which Toronto looks to stay unbeaten in 5, as they've been unbeaten in their last 4 back-to-back wins and 3 wins in their last 4. And for FC Cincinnati 2, looking for just their 2nd win of the regular season. Hello, family. I'm James Hedden. Thank you so much for joining me for this matchup. And because Toronto has been such a good squad up to this point, they're a team that their coach is really pleased with because of the goals that are being scored now in comparison to last season. I did the first game of the year in which Toronto played Philadelphia, and goals were something that they talked about, and now they're scoring them. As we take a look at the 11 for Coach Castellanos in his first season for FC Cincinnati 2, a 4-4-2 is their formation, and Stefan Chirilla, the homegrown and first teamer, down with the second team today to get things started. He, along with Leo Oreaena, will be up front in this 4-4-2, and for Chirilla and Oreaena, will they be able to score? That is something that has been troublesome for FC Cincinnati up to this point in the year. Just 4 goals on the season. Chirilla has one of them in a losing effort, and that came in the first match of the year. So can they get on the score sheet against a side in Toronto that has been flying as of late? As we take a look at the 11 for Coach Cimini and Toronto FC2 in a 3-4-3. They make 2 changes from their last match, a 2-1 win over NYC FC2. No Micah Chisholm and no Fletcher Bank. And so in this 11 today, you have to look out for Dimitri Adamson, who also is into the lineup for the first time, and Josh Nugent, who is going to play striker today, has DeMar Dixon and Elias Kodri on his left and on his right. And so that is going to be the players up front for Toronto. And as we talk about the attack, you think about 2 goals in the last match, a 3-3 draw within this unbeaten streak versus the team at the top of the table in the East in Crown Legacy. So Toronto has had no trouble scoring this season, unlike they did last year. And continuing the point on the goal-scoring prowess for Toronto, it's still not a finished product, says Coach Cimini. As players come back from injury, as players come back from international duty from earlier, that was the big thing. Can they mesh? Can they grow? And really felt like they're playing away from home early in the season really helped set the foundation for this team, and want to continue flying through the regular season. And for Cincinnati and Coach Castellanos, felt like the last match versus Red Bulls, they started to really learn each other, and it was a developing experience for them. The first 45 minutes, they were right with Red Bulls, and then things did not go well in the second 45. So can they play a full 90? That is the outlook for this match. So Toronto in the road white kits with red shoulders, and Cincinnati in the blue. This is going to start a long homestand over the next 13 matches for FC Cincinnati 2. 9 of their next 13 are at home. They will play back-to-back matches at home before going on the road. So have to start to pick up points at home. There's the opening whistle, and we begin from NKU Soccer Stadium in Northern Kentucky. FC Cincinnati 2 and Toronto FC 2 battling in the Eastern Conference. James Hadnot here with you. Thank you so much for joining me on this Sunday evening. What to expect early on in this match. Toronto is a team that likes to defend. They do it very well. We're one of the better defending teams last year, and so they really want to force Cincinnati to break them down and then play on the counter. First opportunity in possession, and it's lost by Toronto. If Cincinnati can break them down and find some goals, that will force Toronto to really change their game plan. But getting started and really throughout this match, Toronto is going to allow Cincinnati to have some possession. And from Coach Castellanos and Cincinnati, he shared with me that he really wants his team to take advantage of the opportunities that they create. Does believe that they do have some chance creators in the lineup today. Stefan Chirilla, definitely one of them. His meteoric rise from being an MLS Next All-Star in 2024, signing his homegrown contract. He's one of the top goal scorers in the league. It was a stretch back in 2024 when he just could not stop scoring. It caught the eye of the powers that be for FC Cincinnati, and they signed him to that homegrown deal. Toronto has had his fair share of players that have come through the second team space, gone on to play for the first team. This is a giveaway. Hurtado. Chavez. Now the ball ushered around to the left flank for Cincinnati. Good defending here by Toronto, and now a chance to play on the counter. Kodri's shot is closed down. Toronto will keep possession. Kapoor. Fortier. Fortier is fouled. And a free kick coming for Toronto inside of 5 minutes. You see Tim Fortier, just a little ball to Elias Kodri, and was able to slip through before he was fouled. Free kick for Toronto. Want to make it 5 straight unbeaten. Ball launched into the box, and Morosic calmly comes out, rolls it to the path of a teammate, and nothing immediately for Cincinnati, so they will reset. Coming into today, just 1 win through their first 6 total matches. Currently at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. And Cincinnati, over the course of their time in MLS Next Pro, have struggled. Last year they made the playoffs. 2 years ago they were the top team in the East after 2 tough years at the beginning of their time in the league. So this is not necessarily unfamiliar territory for them, but they also have shown that they can dig themselves out. Just have to put a couple of positive performances together. No better time than the present, especially when you have 9 of your next 13 matches at home. A long stretch of time off did Cincinnati, and Coach Castellanos said they really used that time to train in a very focused way. Wanted to grow in their ability to connect passes and get into the final third. Wanted to shore up things defensively. And wanted that to be on display versus Toronto. One of the, some might say, surprising teams in the East. Toronto is looking to make the playoffs for the first time since they were in the final. Check that, in the Eastern Conference final in 2022. And now a yellow card is shown for the challenge from behind. So Felix Sampson quickly picks up a yellow card for Cincinnati. Or check that. Sampson was in front. He was also running away at the same time. The yellow card goes to Michael Sullivan. And so Sullivan, who played last year for Toronto, is the man that goes in the book in the 6-minute mark. So another free kick from a similar spot for Toronto. We saw Morosic come out and grab the last one. As he has bowled here, ball doesn't make it to him. It's flicked on purpose. And it will roll out for a corner. So it will be Bryce Bonneau, hails from Keller, Texas, to take this corner. Toronto with a third set piece inside of 10 minutes. Outswinging ball. Play will continue for the time being. Kodri tries to draw it back. Not there. Now this ball dumped into the area. And the header is just over the crossbar. It was DeMar Dixon who rose up and got a piece of it. Good header there. And so Toronto in the second phase of that attack, putting some pressure on Cincinnati. It's something that Cincinnati has had to deal with a lot this season with their scoring struggles. Have not seen a lot of possession. Chirilla. Now Nukley fires this high into the air. Nugent won't win that race. Hurtado in a crowd. Dug out by Toronto. Ball will find the home side once again. Good ball over the top. This could be promising. Skipped all the way around to Hurtado. Now Chavez. Sampson. Lachakar. Now back with Chavez. At the end line, Hurtado draws it back. Cincinnati will keep possession. This is a good spell on the ball for Cincinnati. After Toronto had the header that just went over the crossbar. Now Cincinnati looking for an opportunity of their own. Good control. Sullivan. Chavez lets it run. Hurtado into the area. Nodded away. Good box defending from Toronto. And then a foul. So free kick coming for Toronto. Did you like the play there from Cincinnati? The ball moving from side to side, not sticking. Hurtado a couple of entries into the area looking for Stefan Chirilla, who's not only good when the ball comes to feet, but also in the air. Trying to play direct. Not there for the Young Reds. Now Lachakar. Played 4 years at UNC Greensboro. Back to his goalkeeper, Fabian Morosic. On loan from Liverpool, a part of the Liverpool Academy since 2020. And had 19 clean sheets, over 60 appearances in their youth ranks. This ball is kept in. And Chavez holding the hand of the center back. Well, Coach Castellanos and his group in Cincinnati really does believe in this squad. Knows that they have had a tough draw to start the year, some tough competition. But now is when this young group has to grow up in month number 3 of the season. And with an opportunity to play at home, how can you start to build on what you were able to do in the first 45 minutes versus the reigning champions? A good measuring match for them. Went down initially in the 14th minute, and then Sheu Niang with the game-tying goal. Then conceded 2. Sullivan's shot is blocked away by Kapoor. Right now, Cincinnati looking pretty good. Hurtado can't find an option. A necessary clearance for a throw by Toronto. No Sheu Niang available today, so the leading goal scorer not available for selection for Cincinnati. There's a lot to like about. Recently signed, big body. Nice little combining play here. Chirilla, Hurtado. It's a good ball. It's tapped around. Oh boy in blue can bag it. Now Chavez. Hurtado stands it up. And the header is missed by Charlie Holmes. Toronto was going to be okay conceding some of the possession. Cincinnati has done well with it up to this point. Haven't been able to put a shot on frame just yet. But it is building right now for the boys in blue. One thing about not taking advantage of your opportunities early on, a team like Toronto, they know they're not going to get a lot of chances. That's just how they play. And so they are often clinical when that chance arrives. Here's a turnover, however. Chirilla controlling. And a kind bounce for the young Reds. Kodri shielded off well. That's good defending. As Lachikar puts the ball back in play. He was the man that really didn't allow for Kodri to bust loose. Quarter of an hour gone. Early goings here between FC Cincinnati and Toronto FC. Toronto has gone toe-to-toe with some of the best teams in the East already this year. A 1-0 victory versus Philadelphia in the match prior to their win over NYCFC 2-1 last time out. Good ball into the channel. Excellent run here for Toronto. And a necessary intervention. It was Nugent who was at the doorstep. Great diagonal. And now Cincinnati attacking. Oreaena was dispossessed. Now Kodri was the intended target and just getting a touch behind was Cincinnati. Now Oreaena trying to swivel through. Possession still with Cincy. At the end line, a nice chop. Now the cross comes in. Hurtado can't take a shot. Chavez, excellent skill. And the attack continues to progress for Cincinnati. Oreaena out wide. Almost a disastrous touch by Daquan Barrow. And now there's a man down inside the 18 for Toronto. So 18th minute of action, no score between Toronto FC2 and FC Cincinnati. This is one of multiple games going on here today. Crown Legacy, the team at the top of the Eastern Conference, already up a goal on Orlando City B. New England and CT United also in action. And then the Western Conference takes center stage later on tonight as Houston will play Colorado. Tacoma take on Sporting Kansas City. And Vancouver will battle LAFC. Coach Gianni Samini giving some pointers to his team as one of his players is being looked at inside the 18. Last year they only had 4 players score more than 2 goals. Hassan Ayari, Marcus Simermancic, Michael Sullivan, and Nathaniel Edwards already have a couple of players over that. Jamari Nolan has 4. Fletcher Bank, unavailable for selection today, has 3. This portion of the match is brought to you by First Financial Bank, official bank of FC Cincinnati. 20th minute of action and still down inside the 18 and being worked on. A Toronto player. Very difficult to see from our vantage point. So don't want to give you the wrong number or player. But it has been for about 3 or so minutes now, just working on the leg of the injured player. Does not look like right now, and now the trainer as well as the goalkeeper, Zakaria Nukli, making the signal for a change. And so after the work was done, unable to continue and have to come off. So Raekwon Campbell-Dennis about to come on for Toronto. And it is Daniel Stampatori who was injured in that action, the 21-year-old from Mississauga, Ontario. So Stampatori comes off, and on comes Raekwon Campbell-Dennis. And play resumes. Toronto almost in some trouble. But they are very calm on the ball. They deal with a lot of pressure in practice because that's how they defend. So usually are very calm when they are facing pressure from an opponent. Big ball over the top. Close down. Second ball coming towards Kodry, who was offside. So let it run through all the way to the Cincinnati goalkeeper, Fabian Morosic. Talked about the head coach, Sammy Castellanos, the former U18 coach for Chicago, was also with Orlando. He's had some great mentors over his time in MLS. This is Hurtado. Good defending there by Dimitri Adamson. Cincinnati has really been funneling their attack to the likes of Hurtado. And looking for Chavez as well as Chirilla on runs inside the box. This is Stefan Kapoor, another young player. Nice tidy pass centrally. Here's the turnover that Cincinnati was looking for. Stefan Chirilla looking for an angle. And Chirilla will earn a corner for Cincinnati. When you invite pressure, sometimes a mistake is made. But you see how quickly Toronto was back. So Leo Araena will take this corner. Ball is sent in. Good job by Nugent. Was first to it. Nice little touch and wonderful defending. Goalkeeping was excellent in the end from Nuclei. With that recycled ball back in on the second phase, the touch kept the runner on side. But you know who was out there quickly and with reckless abandon? Zakaria Nuclei. Hails from Montreal, Quebec. Now Chavez, wide of the mark. It was a very tight angle as he tried to curl it around Nuclei, who was quickly called upon. And again, you see Nuclei is not going to give up that near post, made himself big, and as Chavez continued into the area, the angle continued to get cut down, and it was going to be a very difficult shot that he had to whip around. Now Toronto racing the other way. A stupendous slide tackle from Sammy Lachikar. Now Cincinnati back in the attack. And the deflection right to Nuclei. So after a very calm 20 minutes or so, quick apology for the technical difficulty. But as had a quick, calm 20 minutes, now things are starting to pick up. This ball rolls into harm's way if you're a fan of Toronto, but the Young Reds stay together. But the pressure really being put on by Cincinnati now. Hurtado could not angle this towards Chavez. So what is the outlet for Toronto FC? Who can come down to provide coverage or provide an outlet? Because right now there is not one. And Cincinnati is winning the ball quickly. Sullivan gets a piece of that. Chirilla takes the touch, and Stefan Chirilla is denied. So the first half MVP is Zakaria Nuclei. 2 big saves. That one 1v1 with Stefan Chirilla. And one that Chirilla might want back. Does really well here, this touch to open himself up. But coming quickly and making himself as big as possible was Zakaria Nuclei. He has been locked in from the onset. This portion of the match is brought to you by Mercy Health, official healthcare provider of FC Cincinnati. 27th minute. Nuclei now a part of the build for Toronto, and we'll just fire this deep. Hurtado shielding off. Now Barrow. Kapoor. Kapoor in no hurry. Waiting for someone to provide themselves as an option. It will be Bono. Adamson. Cincinnati wanted to be difficult to break down themselves. This is Toronto's first spell on the ball in a good while, and it comes to a screeching halt. Quickly in towards Chavez. Tries to take the touch through, but it was unsuccessful. After the ball is turned over, Cincinnati trying to create. And a corner is on the horizon now for FC Cincinnati. Even when Toronto has turned the ball over in their own half, really hasn't been a clear-cut chance outside of the shot from Stefan Chirilla and Adamar Chavez. So Otaharena, once again, an opportunity to take this corner. Plays it short on this occasion. Receives it back. Ball's lifted into the area. Chirilla. Hurtado. And dispossessed is Hurtado. Necessary slide from Felix Sampson, the Canadian Youth International. Played with Canada in the U20 CONCACAF Championship qualifiers. Former MLS Next All-Star back in 2024. This is a Canadian Youth International himself, Stefan Kapoor. Back to Zakaria Nuclei. Shove from behind of Kodri, and a free kick on the horizon for Toronto. Decide not to play it into the area. It's 48. Bono assessing his options. Big collision, and it'll go Cincinnati's way. Toronto has a really good record against FC Cincinnati. As you see the collision there. Toronto was unbeaten in their last 4 matches versus FC Cincinnati 2. 3 of those matchups wins for the Young Reds. They did draw the last time they were here, 1-1. Hurtado takes the touch. Hurtado's shot is saved again by Nucley. He's having himself a half. Now Chavez. Kapoor steps in front of Ademar Chavez's shot. But Zakaria Nucley, you can check his punch card. He is putting in some work today. Again, Hurtado gives himself an opportunity. Kapoor also does some work on that action as he just shoved off Hurtado. And then Chavez with his shot blocked. Did not even meet Nucley. But Coach Castellanos has to be pleased with the way that his team is creating chances. Now they're going to have to put one away. Chavez at the end line. He is closed down by Barrow. Check that. That's Dimitri Adamson defending. Either way, it is Toronto that controls another attack put on by Cincinnati. And Coach Cimini said he wanted his side to have a professional showing today on the road against a team in Cincinnati that is better than they are on paper. What a ball through, but Nucley is out for it as Chirilla was trying to get to the end of it. And again, Zakaria Nucley in all phases of this match has been pristine. He's been quick to the ball. He's been decisive. He's made a couple of key saves. And right now, Toronto and Cincinnati still 0-0. Hurtado slips forward to Chavez. Ademar Chavez dancing, shooting, and that's not a bad effort, although it curls to the left. If he hits it right, that is going into the top corner. So Chavez has the ability, and again, just has to put his boot all the way through it as he's falling back. Kodri, a great ball over, a little tap through. And Dixon. Ball comes central. Good defending. With the ball won back by Toronto. Now after all that Cincinnati has done in the attack, have not scored, can Toronto, in the little possession that they do have, take advantage? 36th minute, still no score. It's been Cincinnati that has had the better chances up to this point. There were 3 set pieces early in the match within the first 10 minutes for Toronto. Since then, it's been all Cincinnati. This ball will stay in for the home side. Chirilla. Sullivan. Now Stephon Chirilla. Sampson. And Hurtado's ball is pushed out by Adamson. Hurtado makes the run. Has support in Chavez. Now Audemars Chavez. Had eyes for Stephon Trilla making that diagonal run. They have been active, have Chavez, Trilla, and Hurtado in this first half. A lot of touches. Barrow, Bono, and Kapoor. Very calmly playing through this pressure being put on by Cincinnati. You can just see how Bono is trying to pull out a player from the midfield, and then Toronto trying to expose the space behind. But Cincinnati not really giving them an inch. And so Toronto will stay patient. Disciplined defending from Cincinnati. Now Kodri works around Spire, but could not swivel around Hurtado. Flag has stayed down. A chance for Cincinnati. But again, Stephon Kapoor and this back line not really giving an inch for Toronto themselves. A dangerous ball. Chavez almost got a boot to that. Toronto trying to widen things out. Really force Cincinnati to defend every blade of grass. '40th minute now. Ball runs through. Dixon tracks it down. Kapoor. Numbers in the area. Hurtado doesn't clear it completely. Toronto still in possession. Slip ball comes through. Now this shot from DeMar Dixon is blocked. Toronto growing into this match now. Excellent move from Adamson. And a save. So Morosek has his first save of the day. This portion of the match, as we see Adamson, just a good shot on frame through the hands of Morosek. This portion of the match is brought to you by Allegiant, official airline partner of FC Cincinnati. Clock turns to the 42nd minute. Toronto with the corner. Ball headed down. Just wide. Another grand chance for Toronto off a dead ball situation. This was a great ball all the way to the back post, finding its target, rising was Daquan Barrow. Scooch this through. Nugent can't swerve around Spire. Big switch. As this runs right to Hurtado. Sullivan could not get it out of his feet. Chavez can't track this down. And once again, that final piece of the puzzle, that final action, just not there for Cincinnati. Hurtado doesn't hit it first time. And then in close quarters with Michael Sullivan. Pass came in too hot. Kapoor. Bono. Adamson. Back to Kapoor and Barrow. Toronto trying the right side now. Dropped back off. Spire loses possession. And there's contact and a foul. So Camden Spire not going to be happy, but he does commit the foul. And a free kick for Toronto in the 45th minute. We've already seen Daquan Barrow rise up for a couple of headers today. Great ball. And it'll take a bounce past everyone. It bounced right inside the 6-yard box. Just an excellent service. Nobody there to get on the end of it. The fourth official announcing a minimum of 3 minutes of added time to this first half. Still scoreless between Toronto and Cincinnati. Toronto trying to make it 5 unbeaten. And Cincinnati looking for its second win of the season. Cincinnati's only win coming versus NYCFC. And they're looking to score their 5th goal of the year, have just 4 goals through their first 6 matches. One came in the opener, a loss to CT United 3-1. And as mentioned, one came in the 1-0 victory versus NYCFC. It was Shea Uniang who had scored in 2 straight appearances. Not available today for Cincinnati. Sampson. Chirilla cannot get around Barrow, excuse me. And that's good defending from Daquan. Nugent receives this. But as he put the brakes on, almost blew a tire. So he loses possession. We have played 2 minutes of our minimum of 3. Neither side has scored up to this point. It was Cincinnati in the middle part of this second half that had a couple of clear-cut chances, but Zakaria Nukley ensured that Toronto did not concede. Toronto's best offense today has been off set pieces. Nukley tracks this down. And barring anything crazy, we will go to the break at 0-0. I think both head coaches will be happy with the way that their teams have played today, especially Coach Cimini and with his goalkeeper, who has been the star for Toronto. And for Cincinnati, Coach Castellanos will be happy with the opportunities that have been created. Will be even more happy if his team was to find a goal. There is the halftime whistle, and we go to the break. FC Cincinnati 0 and Toronto 0. Coming up in our halftime show, one of the best young stars in MLS traces his soccer roots after this brief timeout.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Welcome back to this matchup between FC Cincinnati 2 and Toronto FC 2. No score for either side through one half of play. Wednesday night, Julian Hall scored the first goal in a wild match for the Red Bulls after helping Red Bulls 2 to the MLS Next Pro Cup championship last season. Let's track the remarkable journey of this young rising star.
Julian Hall! Remember the name! It's that man again, Julian Hall! Goal, it goes in! Mehmeti, has he broken through here? Mehmeti across, Hall! Swinging ball towards the back post, it goes! Opening goal for Red Bull New York, Julian Zakrzewski Hall!
Born in Manhattan, New York, Julian Hall found the game the same way a lot of kids in this city do.
I first kind of started playing soccer when I was around 4 years old. I would play a lot wherever I could, if it was a field near my apartment or wherever I could, basically. And I just remember, falling in love with the game and wanting to play as much as I can. There's a main place I would play. It's pretty popular in Manhattan. It's called Pier 40, and a lot of people go there. That's where I played with Manhattan Kickers. It's kind of where I really started to realize I really wanted to play soccer seriously and maybe make it professionally.
That love for the game turned into an opportunity, a move into one of the top academies in the country.
Julian came into our system at U14. I think he played about 3 or 4 games with the U14s. I was a U15 coach at the time, so I was observing those games, and you could see straight away he was a special talent. So he quickly got moved up an age group to play with the U15s that season. Made an instant impact with the older age groups.
The level changed quickly, and so did the expectations.
I was very excited to come in and show my ability, and I was playing with my age and I was playing a year up, and the intensity was a different level, I would say, from what I've ever played at that point in my life. So yeah, no, it's an amazing experience.
Chimueno scored off the bench against Seattle, and Julian Hall with the breakthrough! The Golden Boot leader rises to the occasion, and we've got an electric finish here in the U15 final.
He's one of those players that can get you up off your feet. Like, he's direct, he can take players on, he can score goals from inside the box, outside the box in really different ways, and it would always amaze you how he would find goals in the game.
The next step brought a new set of challenges.
That was the biggest jump for me, going from academy to professional football. The intensity, the physicality, the football, it was all quicker than anything I had experienced before. And, I just thought I did a good job of staying level-headed and not being discouraged about little things.
Working to the midfield, now Gonzalez entering the box, across and a goal! Julian Hall puts the Red Bulls 2 on the board.
I was lucky to be coached by Ibrahim Sakaya, and Bradley Wright Phillips was there a lot of the time as well. They did a good job of helping me progress and helping me not get discouraged and keep going every single day and working hard. The coaching staff really mended me very well.
Like, he's always striving to try and get better at something within games and training. And then, why he adapts well, he's a natural goal scorer.
For Julian, it was about staying level and keeping the work the same.
When you go to a professional environment, if you're doing the most amount of work and you're clearly working harder than everyone else, it stands out to a lot of people, and that can be something that separates you from everyone else. If you're a hard worker, that could get you to a lot of places, and I think that's just something that established me when I first came into the first team.
That work and mentality has paid off with the fast start of the season.
We're really happy with the way that he's moving himself forward. He has taken the ideas and has really shown that he is picking things up. Obviously, there's the attacking part, his ability to find chances, his ability to take balls on the move, to dribble, to go by guys, run in the box. The part that goes with it is how much work he does for us against the wall, how much pressing, how much sprinting, how much chasing, how much work he does to really make the game difficult on the other team. And so we're really, really happy with the progress that he's made. We're going to continue to push him.
As he continues to grow, so does the chemistry with his teammates around him.
I've known Julian for a very long time now. I see the way he works in training. I'm getting to know him more and more, obviously, as we play together on and off the field. And then when I step onto the field, I know where he's going to be on the field, what his positioning is like, where he wants the ball, left foot, right foot. And we're kind of growing that connection, which has been going in a really good way, and hopefully, to grow that connection even more.
Mehmeti, has he broken through here? Mehmeti across, Hall! 2-0!
I think it's just the trust with the coaching staff. Coach Michael, he's done a great job with us during preseason and putting trust in me to start the first couple games. It's a lot of credit to him for putting his belief in me. Obviously, I have to go out there and perform to the best of my ability, and thankfully I've got a couple goals so far. The goal is to keep progressing throughout the season.
Talent and work ethic have helped Julian's dreams come true faster than even he could have predicted.
I've always dreamt of becoming a professional soccer player, but I never really expected it to happen so fast, to be honest. Earlier that year, I was still just playing academy, and I was progressing well, but I never thought it would lead to signing a contract later that year. So it's kind of a lesson there just to be ready for anything, and anything can happen very, very quickly. You really just have to put your all into whatever you're doing, and things can happen. I think a big thing is just self-belief, because when I was playing in MLS Next, I was signing a contract later that season. I had no idea. I did not have a plan on signing that year. That was not in my plan at all. I think things like that can come from just you doing as much as you can, and things will just happen by itself, you know. As long as you're working hard and giving 100% every single day, you know, good things will happen. And, you know, thankfully things came to me that year, and, you know, you got to be grateful and you got to use it as much as you can to your abilities.
Welcome back to this matchup between Toronto FC and FC Cincinnati. No score through 45 minutes of play. And now it's time to see some other scores happening right now. As we take a look at those scores. On yesterday, it was Austin who defeated North Texas 4-0. Huntsville City also got the win over Chattanooga. And Atlanta United, under their first-year head coach in his first full season, they are up 2-1. Good win for them. San Jose playing Ventura County on Friday, and they won 3-1. Let's look at some more. Moving forward, some upcoming matches this upcoming week. Ventura County is going to look to get back in the win column versus Sporting Kansas City, Huntsville, and Carolina. And again, Toronto will take on the reigning champions, New York Red Bulls. As if they can get through this match, it would be 5 unbeaten if they took on New York, a team that would be trying to close down that streak. Now let's take a look at our halftime highlights. Even though there were no goals in the first half, it was Toronto early on who put some pressure on FC Cincinnati with some early attacks. And then it was FC Cincinnati who put a couple of shots on frame. And Toronto's goalkeeper, Zakaria Nukley, he's the one that was really in a bind today. As you see, Stefan Chirilla, this ball was closed down. Here's one of the better chances. Adamar Chavez behind, and as mentioned, Nukley just making himself big. Was called into action very often in the first half. This was one of the best chances. Stefan Chirilla found himself behind, but could not beat Nukley. And then Hurtado forcing another save out of Zakaria Nukley. On this second phase, it was Chavez who was blocked by Kapoor. And FC Cincinnati just kept on coming. Chavez was very active in this one, although it curled the opposite way. It would have been on frame if he struck it cleanly. And the one save made by Morosic in the first half right there. So, which side will find the breakthrough in the second half? The answer to that question is next. We'll be back for half number 2 between Toronto and Cincinnati.
fun season of MLS Next Pro.
Number 2, Toronto and Cincinnati. Again, Toronto FC has had the number of FC Cincinnati in their meetings here in Next Pro. 7 wins for Toronto over the course of the last couple of seasons. And right now, it is Cincinnati that has had more opportunities on goal, but Toronto has answered the call up to this point. Zakaria Nukli has been the MVP of this match for Toronto with a couple of key saves. And now for Cincinnati at home, and they notched their 2nd win of the season. And for Toronto, can they stay unbeaten? They lost their first match of the year to Philadelphia, but since then, they have had just 1 loss. And they have wins in their last match, as well as versus Philadelphia in the match prior. For FC Cincinnati, their last match was against New York Red Bulls, and they had a tight first half. Could not get over the hump in the second half against the reigning champions. And for Toronto, that is looking the part of a playoff team through these first couple of matches as we turn the calendar to May. And this is another match to measure yourself. Toronto in the white, Cincinnati in the blue. A check of the watch. Blow of the whistle, and we begin half number 2. James Hadnett here with you. Contact and nowhere to go for Leo Oreaina, but the foul on Toronto. Big ball looking for Hurtado. And that's going to be contact and a foul on Hurtado as he was battling against Dimitri Adamson. Bono turns it over to Camden Spire, who goes right to goal. But Nukli is there for it. Not troubled in the slightest. Now Stefan Kapoor. Coming out for it was Morosic. And he was ready for that long ball. As mentioned, Morosic has played with the Liverpool U18s, U19s, and U20s. Although Liverpool fell today in the Premier League to Manchester United. Manchester United will be playing European football for the first time in a long time after securing that win. So Morosic, his home club, still has a chance themselves to play European football. Just have to finish the season strong. Cincinnati with an opportunity for a long throw. Ball does not come into the area. Chavez was losing his footing, and nothing in the end comes of that for Cincinnati. We'll talk with Coach Cimini and what he wanted to see from his team in this match in comparison to others. This is one of those matches where he wanted his team to go on the road and really force the hand of their opponent. Wanted to make it difficult for Cincinnati to break them down, and really wanted to see if Cincinnati could create. Guareaena, nothing there. Hurtado showcasing some speed. That's off the post, and Chirilla gets the job done. Stefan Chirilla, the man who has to make the plays, finds the back of the net, and Cincinnati in front, 1-0. Hurtado's speed right there. Barrow hits the post trying to clear, and it drops kindly to Chirilla, and as he span, he hits side netting and sends Cincinnati in front by a goal. That is the second goal of the season for Stefan Chirilla, and Cincinnati now in front. It felt like it was coming for them in the first half. They had a lot of great passages of play, and they were just missing the final pass or the final shot. In that instance, just a dangerous ball put in by Hurtado, and the ball bouncing their way. Spire steps in. Now Chirilla was offside. It's a good job by Camden Spire, stepping to win possession. And Chirilla, not expecting for the ball to be won back so quickly, was offside as the attack started. Coach Sammy Castellanos said that this team found something in that first half versus Red Bulls, and really felt like his team was taken to the coaching. Corner coming for Toronto. Really was taken to the coaching that happened over the last 2 weeks since that match versus Red Bulls. Felt like that gave him a chance to really focus on the areas that they needed to improve. This is flicked on, and Morosic will scoop. And now the next part of the match. Can Cincinnati stave off any attacks from Toronto? And as the match wears on and Toronto opens up, can they find a decisive second goal? It might take that against the Toronto side that has scored this season much better than last season. Space available for Ademar Chavez. Hurtado slithers into the area, takes a shot. Wow! Dylan Hurtado, dynamic in the attack. And Cincinnati has a second. Individual excellence from Dylan Hurtado as Chavez locates him. A little chop, gets into the area, so Toronto has to be careful. And with Nucley kind of flat-footed, that left-footed shot curled into the side of the net. And Cincinnati, in a blink of an eye, has 2 goals on top of Toronto. Well, your big-time players have to step up when you're struggling. And we've seen that now from Cincinnati. pretty much exclusively in the first half. It was Dylan Hurtado who was at the forefront of the attack. Chavez and Chirilla were the beneficiaries of some good passes from Hurtado. But now it's Hurtado who scores and also had a hand in the attack that scored the first goal. So Morosic comes out to scoop this. And now we'll see how frisky Toronto wants to be as they look for a goal to provide themselves a lifeline. We're just saying, what is Cincinnati's response to scoring their first goal? Would they be able to find a decisive second? They have found a second, and it has come quickly after the first. So as they continue to write the story here, looking for their second win of the season, Coach Castellanos would say it's not too much to ask for a third or seek a third goal. How aggressive will they be? Here's our answer. It was Charlie Holmes sneaking behind, but he was offside. So Cincinnati going for it. Want to put this match to bed inside of 10 minutes gone in the second half. It was a messy goal for Stefan Chirilla that he will take. And then a stupendous goal from Dylan Hurtado that might go on his highlight reel. Chavez. For Dylan Hurtado, it's his first goal for Cincinnati this season. Played in 22 matches last year, made 13 starts, did not score last season. Morosic has this ball bounce. Holmes cannot connect with Stefan Chirilla. Now, how does the game plan shift for Toronto? Down 2 goals. They have the quality on the pitch to score with the likes of Nugent, Dixon, and Kodri. They also have Bono who can create. So this match is long from being over. Camden Spire. Excellent defending as Nugent was trying to shield him off. Omer Egby. .48. Kodri can't cut in front. Cincinnati not going to be pleased there. Michael Sullivan just boots it the other way. Michael Sullivan was well liked by the coaching staff from Toronto, going back to last season, wore the captain's armband on multiple occasions. Where's the captain's armband? As Barrow has to go back to his goalkeeper. Pressure released by Omer Egby. .48. This time Fortier is cut down by Spire. And for persistent infringement, Camden Spire will pick up a yellow card. Cincinnati still in front by 2 goals as they lead Toronto. Came in 7th in the East, finished 9th last year. Out of playoff position. Back heel. Cleared behind for a corner. Mentioned that FC Cincinnati came in at 16th in the Eastern Conference. That is at the bottom of the East. This would be a big moment for them early on to start the month of May. If they could take down Toronto, who's come in flying high. Bono, speaking of flying high, nice header from Omaregbi. Takes a bounce, but Morosic grabs it. As we near an hour played in Northern Kentucky. Good defending here. Bono. Kapoor. 48. And now Barrow. And Toronto creates some tempo to their attack. Cincinnati now starting to sit back a little deeper as they want to conserve this lead. Bono. Nice little ball through. Campbell Dennis can't work his way around Will Kiesel. So deep in their own defending half is Cincinnati with this throw in. Toronto doesn't want to let them out. And the Young Reds win possession back. 60th minute of action. Spire, clean challenge. Chirilla on the ball now. Stefan Chirilla, his shot! Finds the back of the net. Cincinnati on the counter, make it 3-0. On top of Toronto. And Stefan Chirilla has a brace. Camden Spire has been in the cookie jar all match. This time, a tasty delivery to Stefan Chirilla, and the finish beautifully done. Stefan Chirilla is a supreme goal scorer. There's a reason he won the MVP of MLS Next back in 2024. He scored 41 goals in all competitions and was a part of the Generation Adidas Cup Best 11, had the Golden Boot in the competition. And he is not new to this. He is true to this. And he gives this team the lead by 3. This portion of the match is brought to you by Ball & Gaynor, official wealth management partner of FC Cincinnati. An embarrassment of riches when you think of the wealth that they have in Stefan Chirilla. Even going back to last year's coach Tyrone Marshall, he said when Stefan Chirilla comes down, he has to do what he's supposed to do because although he is still a teenager, he's a first-teamer. And so he can't be treated the same as some of the other players that are being developed. He has to produce. And in this match, he has done just that. Now the team lead in goals with 3. With 2 on the day. This ball will roll out. Well, we saw it in MLS on yesterday. It was Inter Miami who went up 3-0 to Orlando City. But Orlando City and Martino Heda, who had 2 goals. Tyree Spicer, who had the game-winning goal. Ojeda actually had 3 goals. And then Spicer had the 4th. That would be a tall task for Toronto on the road to expect the same as Orlando City on the road, especially with how confident Cincinnati is looking right now. Orellana ran into traffic. Well, Nucley was the man to watch in the first half. He had 2 key saves and forced a lot of difficult shots out of Cincinnati. But in the second half, the dam has just broke. And the goals are rushing in for FC Cincinnati here at home. Good ball through. Kodri gets a touch, but watching him the entire way was Felix Sampson. Now Dixon. Nugent can't reconnect. Omaregbe. Nugent. Now Josh Nugent on the edge of the 18. Returns to Omaregbe. As Toronto now enjoying some possession now. They have to be on the ball. They need goals. Fortier. Into Nugent. Kodri. Cannot scurry through as he ran into traffic himself. And that will be a corner. This portion of the match is brought to you by Skyline Chili, official partner of FC Cincinnati. '66th minute. Cincinnati has scored 3 goals in this second half. Stefan Chirilla has 2. Jalen Hurtado has 1. Toronto has none. Looking for something here. Outswinging ball from Bono. Cleared away by Lachakar. Second phase of the attack. Omaregbe trying to keep possession. Nice little tap to Campbell Dennis, but his slip ball was past its intended target. We can talk for hours about Stefan Chirilla, his journey here, former Philadelphia Union Academy product. Moving to Cincinnati to get more of an opportunity with the logjam that is talented players in the Union Academy system. And sometimes all it takes is an opportunity. All it takes is a chance. And Stefan Chirilla has taken true advantage of that chance. Not as tidy in the back as Cincinnati would like to be right now. The only thing that could really impede them from all 3 points is unforced errors. Dixon still with it. Fortier fires, and Morosic saw it the entire way. This ball rolls out. Throw in coming for Toronto, but not before we have a substitution. So Matias Vasquez will come on. Stefan Chirilla will come off. Camden Spire also will come off. And Dominic Lester will come on. Cheyenne Pinnock will come off. Elias Kodri, as well as Luca Costabile, he will come on. And Dimitri Adamson will come off. The last sub. So on is Pinnock, Sapleton, and Costabile. And immediately an opportunity building for Toronto. That was Tristan Blythe. '70th minute, and Cincinnati is sitting pretty, up by 3 goals, and the margin could grow. It was Barrow who quickly found himself in front of Michael Sullivan. Those two were former teammates last year. I mentioned what Sullivan did. He had 1 first-team appearances for Toronto FC, but most of his appearances were with the second team, 22 to be exact, 4 goals, 1 assist. Long throw comes into the area, and then it's cleared away by Barrow. Spire, a little flick. Blythe letting it bounce. Now Toronto in possession, and an excellent ball forward. Toronto still with it, and the corner coming for the Reds. So it's Luca Costabile trotting over to take this corner. Costabile from Copenhagen, Denmark, the 23-year-old. Out-swinging ball. Peeling off was Blythe. Didn't make clean contact. Now Barrow on the turf. He'll track this back down after the first ricochet. 48 stands this up. Hurtado with the header away for Cincinnati. Kapoor slithering. Now this, a cross that was too tall for everyone. Some contact there on the throw-in, and so a free kick coming for Cincinnati. Next up for FC Cincinnati, they have a home match versus Columbus Crew 2 in that rivalry matchup. One that's always fun between those two sides. Looking for more is Cincinnati. This will roll out for a throw. Next for Cincinnati after Columbus, they'll go to Huntsville and then come back home to take on Chattanooga. Long throw into the box, and the header by Barrow turns into a corner for Cincinnati. Ball is sent in. We'll take a bounce. A lot of contact in the area, but play on is the decision. Hurtado will win the race, but his touch rolls out of play for a throw-in. Next up for Toronto, they will take on Red Bulls and then CT United and Columbus Crew. And they will look to regroup from this match. They had been in top form recently, but right now ran into a hungry side in Cincinnati. Still some time left as we near the 75th minute of action, but Cincinnati has looked the part and played the part today. They were the more aggressive side in the attack in the first half. As mentioned, Zakaria Nucley with some really key saves. Stephon Chirilla had a chance in the first half. He didn't finish, but didn't make very many mistakes in this second half with his 2 goals. Toronto in possession now. Nugent behind his teammate. And Kapoor guilty of the infraction. So we are in the 75th minute now. I talked to Coach Castellanos just about development and how he wanted this team to grow. He said it's the fine balance of when they are not performing at the level you believe they can, knowing how to interact with them. Always looking at things positively and really just wanting to give them the tools to grow from every experience, every match that they play. This ball goes back to Morosic. Today, one of the keys was their press, making sure that on any of the cues that they were going and stepping as one, and we saw that in the goal by Stephon Chirilla, his second. Camden Spire stepping, getting a piece of the ball, and that immediately creating an opportunity to attack. And so it's one thing to talk about it during the weekend training and during the video sessions. It's another thing to actually execute it on the field. Another giveaway, and Cincinnati will win possession. Chavez past his teammate Dylan Hurtado. Hurtado also has a goal on the day. Came up through Columbia in the Estudiant out tilt franchise. Good movement here. And then the attack fizzles out. Fortier. Oh my goodness, that was a threaded ball through. Just not able to get on the end of it. Rosick taking as much time as he so pleases with his team in front. A lot of contact, and that's a foul. As Jack Mize is on the pitch now. 18-year-old of the U.S. Youth International. Coach Castellanos excited about him as a young player. Cincinnati with an opportunity to throw quickly. There's contact and a foul. So a free kick for Cincinnati. So Ryan Schlotterback comes on. And also coming on is Gavin DeHart. A big yell for both DeHart and Schlotterback. Well deserved, as Cincinnati looks very good right now. And Jack Mize prepares to take this free kick. Now the ball comes in, nodded along, and Cincinnati has a fourth. Well, Michael Sullivan had to get on the score sheet today against his former team. And Sullivan scores his first of the season, first for Cincinnati. And it is a sweet one against the Young Reds, who he had so much success with last year. Just an excellent initial ball. The flick towards the back post, and Sullivan just scurrying and pouncing. Last year's captain for Toronto, now the captain for Cincinnati. And that all but settles things here at NKU Soccer Stadium. As mentioned, he had one first-team appearance last year for Toronto, but was very much a part of what Toronto was last year, just missing out on the playoffs. But Cincinnati trouncing Toronto right now as they lead 4-0. 81st minute of action. Goals from Stefan Chirilla, who has a brace. He has come out. Dylan Hurtado, who has scored. And you just saw Michael Sullivan. Well, this will be sweet for Cincinnati. And they look for more. Ball pinballing around. Finally cleared away. But why not go for more goals if you are FC Cincinnati? And if you're Toronto, this will be a head scratcher. Cincinnati, a team that has struggled to score goals this season, but you've let in 4 against them. Coach Samini, a big proponent of box defending. With Sullivan left available at the back post. And so we'll leave Cincinnati with more questions than answers. Still a long season, however, to get things shored up. And they were coming in with back-to-back wins and wins in 3 of their last 4. Now Toronto in the attack. Running out of real estate. It's been that type of day in the attack for the young Reds. Really have not troubled Fabian Morosic in any way, shape, or form. And we came in beaming a bit about the goal scoring from Toronto. I mentioned the 3 goals that they put up against Crown Legacy. 2 goals in their last match versus NYCFC. There's now another substitution coming on. The day for Dylan Hurtado comes to a close. And Dominic Lester now comes on. This portion of the match is brought to you by Ohio Cat, official partner of FC Cincinnati. 84th minute now. And Cincinnati will enjoy this one. Chirilla has come off. There will be no hat trick today. Cincinnati now just looking to finish things off with a clean sheet. Cincinnati will have the throw in, but you can tell just frustration from Toronto. Coach Castellanos, he said his team was in a good place mentally, and they are now very clear on how they're going to approach the game. They wanted to control the game in all phases, wanted to dominate the ball and make sure they were in the right positions tactically. We saw all of those things today versus Toronto. Dominating the ball, definitely. Toronto was going to concede some possession. Defending, they were dominant. Didn't really allow anything outside of set pieces. That's where Toronto looked most dangerous today, but in the run of play, everything was neat and tidy for Cincinnati. And then in the right positions in the attack. You think of the ball from Hurtado. If Chirilla isn't making the right run and he's not there for the score. Defensively, if Camden Spire doesn't step and he doesn't create the chance for Chirilla. And now Mize. And this shot, just talking about everything coming together. And Matias Vasquez, a 5th for Cincinnati. They can do no wrong today. And this just an exquisite performance for FC Cincinnati 2. Everything we were just discussing in regards to dominating things defensively, in regards to tactically being in the right place, making the right decisions. Mize just right off to Vasquez. And Matias Vasquez with a calm, composed strike. The 19-year-old and Honduran Youth International showing why he's consistently been called up to the Honduran Youth National Team. He's on loan from FC Motagua. He made 44 appearances for Motagua and scored 11 goals. And he actually appeared for the first team in CONCACAF Champions Cup play. A lot of talent on this FC Cincinnati squad. And all of that young talent has been on display today. And that might be a red card because it was near midfield, and has to be a feeling that there was another defender behind. It's just a yellow. So Toronto, although the outcome of this match most likely understood, still will look to finish the match with all 11 men. Daquan Barrow is the one that picks up the yellow card. Good professional tackle in the end, not to allow the easy opportunity. Ball dug out by Cincinnati. And now a clearance from Toronto. Cincinnati wins the ball back. And they are in the driver's seat with a collision course for win number 2 this season. Omaregbe. That ball almost hit the referee because it stayed with Toronto. No need to restart play. Sappleton. And now another turnover. Mize. '90th minute. Early word is 4 minutes of added time. That's all that stands between Cincinnati and their second win of the year. Toronto's unbeaten streak of 4 straight will come to a close. It's now official. 4 minutes of added time. And a goal kick now for Cincinnati. And for Coach Castellanos, his favorite part of coaching this second team is just how the league has grown. MLS in general in the youth development space. So many more kids getting educated and being impacted. The U.S. youth soccer movement is real. Castellanos, who has been a part of MLS for a long time in multiple capacities with multiple teams, has had mentors like Jesse Marsh, Bradley Carnell, Chris Armas, former member of Red Bull as a coach. And now Toronto trying to take something home with them. Ball is spilled, and Morosic takes the worst of that, man, as he keeps his clean sheet. It was Nugent who was the initial target. Morosic was there, kind of spilled it in front, and then got up quickly. A kick save, but his leg was a little awkward. Tristan Blight had the opportunity. So 2 minutes of our minimum of 4 gone. Outswinging ball on the corner. Headed away. Barrow. Omaregbe. Now Kapoor. Cut out. Ball one back to Omaregbe. Omaregbe trying to measure, now drops it off. The shot is blocked, and Cincinnati really working for that clean sheet. That ball is cleared out by Gavin DeHart. Omaregbe. Sappleton. Now Barrow. Kapoor. Final minute of added time. At the byline. Drops kindly. Morosic with another save. Now it's Mize. And a save by Nuclei. So Cincinnati will be in no hurry. Mize plays it in. There's the final whistle. Sweet, sweet victory for Cincinnati. They put up 5 on Toronto. And the final, FC Cincinnati 5, Toronto FC 0. A clean sheet for FC Cincinnati and 5 goals scored. 2 of them from our man of the match. Our man of the match is presented by Adidas, and it is Stefan Trilla of FC Cincinnati 2. Comes down from his first team position, and he scores twice. This one a little messy in front, but a goal scorer knows how to find the back of the net. And this one, excellent in the attack on his left, through the legs of Nuclei. And a brace on the night for Stefan Trilla. He is your man of the match, presented by Adidas. Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. FC Cincinnati with its second win of the year, and for Toronto, their unbeaten streak comes to a close after 4. My name is James Hadnot saying thank you so much for joining us. You can watch MLS Next Pro all season long on OneFootball, as well as MLSNextPro.com with my amazing crew. We say so long and have a blessed evening.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.